Hey guys, what is up, and I welcome each and every one of you to a new League of Legends video. Excuse me. So Riot has responded yet again to that, whole assassinating solo queue void boy video, the game ruining behavior stuff, part 2. They have given us another update, another new, I guess, change or something that's coming to it as well. It just got posted not long ago at all, guys. So we're gonna go through it together. Part 1 is here. We'll quickly run through part 1 as well if you weren't up to date. Now, guys, first of all, if you want League of Legends to be quote-unquote fixed, don't forget to hit that like button. That's the best way to let me know, man. Because this needs to get fixed ASAP. This is ridiculous. Now, there's like people on Twitter, including myself, that are like complaining about this. Like, I mean, you have Dominate complaining about it here, how people are like in, high GM or challenger games, they're like targeting, running it down, trolling, giving up, things like that, right? You have like posts like this coming up where people are just pretty much AFKing and just not even trying for the most part, right? Nightblue himself saying how high-low league is essentially unstreamable. Okay, that's toxic. Ignore that. But how he's the champ select takes 20 years to even get into a game, number one, and number two, when you get into a game, it's always one-sided. Like, it's always one-sided, right? And I just recently played on a Smurf off, on stream, but not recording, just kind of for fun, in like a gold, silver-ish games, and I'm not even kidding. I played like maybe 5 games, and every single game, there was someone running it down, or trolling, or AFKing, or literally just straight up leaving the game. Every single game. It's unplayable. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's unplayable. So I'm excited to see what Riot has updated us with. So let's just go through it, guys. If you enjoy, of course, don't forget to hit that like button. Let's jump into it. So, I just woke up, by the way. Anyways, hi, folks. We're update here on how our efforts to address the game. Let me reduce the music a little bit here. Our efforts to address the in-game or game ruining behavior is going. As mentioned previously, we'll be talking about this work on a monthly basis. And then he links this post, which we talked about before, but I'll very, very quickly skim over it later on in case you're not up to date. Anyways, updates on previously mentioned work. So, the report notification changes have been performing as hoped, which, if you're not aware, they have increased the report notifications. The actual changes to the literal banning of people hasn't changed, is that now, if you report somebody, you'll get a notification that that person got banned more often. That's it. With visibility at peak times into how the system is working, roughly doubling in most regions and quadrupling in Korea. Okay, that's pretty good. Visibility into penalties being applied won't solve issues all by itself, but is an important pairing with better detection and penalties. Example of that for the NA in this graph. So this right here is the graph before the changes were live, right? The dates before, like, in prior to May, I guess. May 6th, May 6th, May 7th. So this is like not very much before, but this is like a 24-hour window, it looks like, roughly. So you can see here notifications per minute, right? So before we were getting like at most like 17 notifications per minute, and and it was going down all the way to like 4 per minute. And now the changes hit live here, and then kind of still takes a little bit of to start going, but then it just instantly spikes to like essentially almost double the notifications sent out per minute. So again, this doesn't really change the amount of people actually getting banned and punished for their game ruining behavior, if you will. It's just a matter of more people are now getting a notification that, a little pop-up that says, oh, someone you reported for unsportsmanlike behavior or whatever has been punished. That is just being sent out more often to let you know that your report did do something. So, reporting in Champion Select is tentatively on track for patch 10.14, might being in 10.15, which I think is the next patch or the patch after. Muting in Champ Select is currently scheduled to appear at the same time as reporting. Okay, you can mute in Champ Select. That's pretty sick because, people are actually like, they're toxic in Champ Select, man. It's ridiculous. But now, yeah, again, very soon, guys, in a patch or two, we can finally report in Champ Select. So if someone is holding a hostage or griefing or trolling in Champion Select, you can report them there without having to wait until the game goes, then play the whole game, probably lose it, suffer like 20 minutes of just pain and suffering, and then have a chance to finally, this is good. So that's a good change. So moving on, what else are they talking about? Let's see. New work and learnings. So we've been running post-game surveys about in-game behavior, building up a picture of how common different behaviors are and which behaviors players find the most frustrating. Okay, that's actually interesting. I'm curious. Example of what the resulting summarized data looks like. Okay, I want you guys in the comments below. Let me know of all the things that people kind of, troll or int with or just essentially ruin games with. Like for instance, literally running it down, just giving up, just leaving the game, AFKing, picking a troll pick, things like that. If you have to pick one of them, which one do you think is the most annoying? Like, if you can just somehow magically flick a one and remove just one of them instantly, and it never happens again, which one would it be? But with that being said, let's take a look at this. So, here's the graph. So, this is the intensity, right? So, the higher it is, the worse it is. And then the higher it is to the right, the more often it happens. So, let's see. So the circles are gameplay impacting. The squares, so like these two or these three down here, are communication issues, and then the plus sign is stuff in champion select. So it seems like champion select not only is among the lower intensities, but it also happens the least. So like champion select blocked, picking bad items and runes and summoners, or demanding another player's position. So it doesn't happen too often, and the frequency or intensity rather is not as crazy. It's about halfway on the list, right? So it's like it's mildly frustrating, but it doesn't happen too often. So the thing that happens the most often, you can see guys right here, is tilt, which I have to agree. Tilt, I mean, that's another way of saying essentially of just not really playing the game properly anymore, I guess, more or less, which is, I'm surprised it's not higher in the intensity. I mean, tilt, it's pretty up there, but I guess these are related to tilt, right? Like refusing to group, stealing from a teammate, sabotaging teammates, AFK or idling, intentional feeding. I mean, those are all, in my opinion, subcategories of tilt, right? And you can see these three especially, it's just all the way up there, man. These three are like confirmed by Riot that essentially are the most frustrating to deal with. Like these are the things that people are just not okay with. Like this is it's just complete BS to have to deal with something like this. It's just extremely frustrating and everything. So that's what Riot is saying. Do you guys agree with that? Yes or no? Let me know in the comment section below. And then we have other things like ping harassment, encouraging forfeit. I'm actually surprised this is not higher on the intensity. I mean, it's pretty annoying. I feel like this should be like somewhere here at least, encouraging forfeit. Like imagine someone that's running it down and just constantly saying, yeah, forfeit 15, forfeit 20, forfeit, spamming /FF nonstop. Dude, I hate that. I think this should be higher than text chat harassment personally, but maybe not. I don't know. Because this, you can mute this. You can't mute someone forfeiting. You just can't. Like you have to see that happen, and it's annoying to see. I mean, that's just my personal opinion, but yeah. So that's kind of the graph. That's pretty interesting stuff. So intentional feeding, AFK or idle, and sabotaging teammates are the worst offenders in terms of just how annoying it is to deal with, and tilt and text chat harassments are the most often to happen. Interesting stuff, actually. Anyways, moving on. Results so far match the feedback we've been getting on social media from players, giving us confidence that the issues already under discussion are representative of wider player feeling as well. Intentional feeding or AFKing and other in-game sabotaging behaviors are clear outliers, which are the circles, which we just talked about, like these three up here, and tilt. As a result, we've decided to dedicate more resources towards addressing specifically those issues. We've also been combing through our existing int and AFK detection and penalties with the following conclusions. Okay, we rely too much on behavior in a single game, very clearly crossing the line of what's acceptable. True. That means players can skirt the line repeatedly in many games without being penalized. We need to put a lot more focus on cross-game behavior as a result. True, because people can just do this, they can essentially do these things on like the bare, like just barely touching the line of, instead of passing the line, and not get punished. Our penalties for AFKing rely too much on Q penalties, like when a player dodges in champ select. True. We should be using other more significant penalties more often, such as temporary bans for players repeatedly AFKing or quitting. I was actually watching SRO, and he was saying how what he thinks they should do is instead decrease the penalty of the ban. So instead of making it like a permanent ban or like a 2-week ban, make it like 4 days, 3 days, but then increase the amount of bans you dish out, so that every now and then you'll hit someone that maybe didn't deserve it, but you'll hit so many more people that do deserve it and it'll be like 3 or 4 days. That could be an option. So our detection algorithms are too basic, over relying on things like raw numbers of deaths per game and player reports. We should also be taking context into account a lot more when it comes to how we interpret certain actions. If a player DCs immediately after a failed surrender votes, for example, we should be confident they're deliberately quitting even if their stats or other recent behaviors don't look out of line. True, I mean, there could be a hella coincidence where they did DC when they put in an FF vote. I mean, it could happen. For instance, my computer has blue screen twice in the past like 3 weeks. I think it's because of the Valorant, like that thing that they have for the hacking detection. I think that thing is like weird. But anyways, or if a player says they're going to AFK or feed and then does so, we should be much more confident in penalizing them quickly, even if they don't have a history of such actions, and it's very clear it's deliberate. Okay, true. I mean, they should be a little more strict. Right now they're kind of like tippy-toeing, like, right, they're tippy-toeing in like the water, right, because they're too scared to like fall into the water a little bit, you know what I mean? Because they're just being really cautious, like super cautious about it, which isn't necessarily wrong. But at this point, and the way it's just going, the way people are just abusing the system over and over and just essentially like doing things that they know they won't get banned for, even though it's definitely ban-worthy, because that's just how the system currently works. it's just absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely just escalating beyond belief. And Riot needs to start kind of dipping their hand into the water a little bit more and getting a little bit more, I guess, dirty with it. You know what I mean? So just start dishing out those bans, man. This is just ridiculous. Next steps. So we intend to ship a number of experiments and tweaks like champ select reporting and muting throughout this year. The next batch of these changes are in early stages of the development right now, but we hope to share more details, which I'll, of course, guys, make a video about once they do in the next month. So we look forward to talking more then. So there you guys have it. A nice little update from Riot Games regarding the game ruining behavior. Let me know what you guys think about it down below. Of course, there's a post here that they talk about a lot of stuff as well, which, you know, if you haven't checked out, I highly recommend checking out as well, especially these two parts right here. But either way, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and let me know what you think about it down below, and I'll see you guys for the next video. Peace.